San Jose State University has plans to expand its campus. Stay tuned to find out more details.
A special election is being held for San Jose's vacant District 3 council member spot previously held by Omar Torres. Stay tuned to find out who's running.
San Jose has an issue with abandoned shopping carts. Stay tuned to find out how the City Council plans to address it.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Justin Ray.
And I'm Mohammed Najimi. San Jose has published their campus master plan. The plan highlights a major expansion to the south side of campus. What does this mean for the future of the school? Reporter Abel Tariku is live and has the story.
SJSU is planning to add 3 million square feet to help accommodate an increase in enrollment. The plan will have 4 phases across 20 years. New accommodations such as renovations to old buildings and new housing across campus are expected.
With the master plan approval in this spring, it really positions the university well to continue to advance into the future.
Around 1 million square feet will be demolished. Notable buildings that will be demolished will be the Dining Commons and Hugh Gillis Hall. The Dining Commons will be replaced before being demolished. Programs in Hugh Gillis Hall will be moved to different buildings during demolition.
There are other programs that take place, like in Hugh Gillis Hall as an example, that absolutely need to have an in-person component. And so we would need to work through that. And often that's associated with how do we make up for specialized space.
The new housing areas will include parking levels due to more students living on campus. Parking has been an issue on campus due to limited space and the amount of students that commute.
The parking situation here is not very suitable in my opinion, but definitely if they were to make it much easier to park here, with the assurance that I would live on campus, I wouldn't.
Students like Mahia still struggle with affording to live on campus despite financial aid support.
And the investment by our city partners in transit, city and regional partners in transit, and the campus's commitment to building more local housing allows us to maintain parking levels at their current amount because people don't have to commute as far.
For more information about the master plan, you can go to sjsu.edu/campusmasterplan. Live in San Jose State, Abel Tariku, Update News.
The District 3 City Council member seat is now up for grabs following the resignation of Omar Torres last year. 2 candidates, Gabby Chavez Lopez and Matthew Quevedo, are among those who are running to take his place. Reporter Gabriel Evans attended their campaign events to find out more.
Councilmember candidates Gabby Chavez Lopez and Matthew Quevedo held campaign events in downtown San Jose and Bakesto Park this weekend. Chavez Lopez is the current executive director of the Latino Coalition of Silicon Valley. Her platform runs on all people, especially female minorities in the workforce. She hopes to inspire the residents of District 3 to throw their support behind her.
And I will be that council member that's going to work for the people. I've always worked for the people, and that's what I've done, and I will continue to do.
Chavez Lopez continues to rally support for her bid for the council member seat.
She looks at diversity. She looks at disparity. She looks at her community. And she wants to bring all of that together in a peaceful, mindful solution.
Minutes away from Chavez Lopez's event, candidate Matthew Quevedo held his own campaign event in Bakesto Park. Matthew Quevedo is the current Deputy Chief of Staff for Mayor Matt Mahan. He announced his bid for the councilmember seat in December.
He's here to serve everybody's interests, no matter if you completely 100% agree with him, if you agree 50%, more or less in between there. He's here for you.
Quevedo is focusing his platform on collective well-being, including issues like homelessness and public safety. Despite the candidate's strong support behind them, some District 3 residents are still undecided on who they will vote for come April 8th.
To be honest, I'm still undecided right now, but just based on his experiences, I would probably vote for Quevedo just because, he was an experienced staffer for Mayor Mahan.
The special election to determine the next representative of District 3 will take place in 50 days. Update News will bring you more on the other candidates in the following weeks. In San Jose, Gabriel Evans, Update News.
To tackle a growing issue in San Jose, city council members have voted in favor of a new initiative to address abandoned shopping carts scattered around the city. What does this mean for the unhoused and the grocery store? I went around San Jose to find out.
With a 10-1 vote, the council has decided to fund a dedicated service to retrieve these carts and return them to their retailers. The city wants to introduce a similar process that a neighboring city has implemented to their retail service. Farzad Ghiassi, manager of grocery outlet on Santa Clara Street, believes the service will benefit the store owners around San Jose. He said it costs grocery stores several $100s per cart to replace them.
It'll have a great impact long term on that business, as far as it staying open, being able to provide the proper service to its customers, and making sure that ultimately the customers is happy.
Renee Delgadillo, an unhoused member, believes this service is a positive thing for the city due to the mess it makes.
Some people make a mess with those cars. Even myself, they do damage. Sometimes they left cars over here, and then police think that I bring it over here, and I get like blamed for that stuff.
Delgadillo believes people will always find a way to steal these carts back and that this bill won't affect them. Jeremiah Johnson, another unhoused member, believes that the city doesn't have the right to abate others' belongings.
You're going to come take my shopping cart at that point, right? You can just run up to me in the street, right? Grab my cart and whatever's in it, right? Because possession is 9/10 of the law. And now you can take everything out.
Attempting to get ahead of the theft, Ghiassi implemented his own way to combat it.
Where we've actually put trackers on them, and since then we've had 100% recovery rate.
Update News reached out to the council members, however, no comment was given.
The city is looking to recover about 2,000 carts per year. Residents will also be able to report any abandoned shopping carts to the city's 311 app to help collect them. The city manager's office is set to reconvene before May with an agreement in review.
Since joining office, President Trump has signed numerous different executive orders targeting various social groups. One of his initial orders halted the federal funding for schools K-12 that teach gender ideology programs. Following those orders, the Department of Education has also prohibited all gender ideology promotion. I went out to see how this is affecting our community. In California, inclusive and accurate LGBTQ+ information has been a requirement for school social studies programs since the state passed the Fair Education Act back in 2011. Some parents of the community believe that exposing the topic too early could be negative for a child, but still believe that it should not be ignored.
As a parent, you have to let the children decide who they're going to be, right? Not what we want them to be, not what society wants them to be, but who they are meant to be.
Following the order, the Department of Education has also ordered all of their employees via email to stop promoting gender ideology. Susana Gallardo, an SJSU assistant professor for Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, said that she wasn't worried for her department until she got that email.
I don't know, you can't make things go away like this. You don't make people's identities go away.
Gallardo also believes that the signs of gender ideology are clear, and some of the recent political actions that have occurred could be detrimental to some children.
And we have so much research showing that when a child has to grow up and think that they're the gender that they're not, or they have to think that they're straight when they know that they're queer, right? We know that that hurts you.
While President Trump's orders primarily target K-12 systems, university systems are also having some ripple effects.
Could be scholarships, fellowships, research funding that comes from the Department of Ed. Those could be, put on pause actually for that. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future with those, but for the financial aid programs, we should be fine at this point.
While most students at the university level may not experience many changes, those at the K-12 level could be in for something a little more major.
When we come back,
your daily commute might get even more expensive. Stay tuned to find out why.
President Donald Trump has a plan for tariffs. Stay tuned to find out how this could impact your local farmers market.
Last week's weather seemed to be a little bit wet. Will this weekend be the same? Stay tuned to find out.
if your daily commute includes a car, it may soon get more expensive. President Donald Trump has announced a tariff on steel and aluminum imports that will raise costs for imported cars and their parts. Reporter Angela Nguyen has more on the story.
Cars help people to travel to work, to school, and much more. San Jose residents have thoughts on how this tariff will impact their life and the car industry. This is Diana Galdames, a college student who does not own a car.
The reason why I'm thinking in getting a car is because it will make my life easier to move around and especially to go to school.
Galdames cannot afford a car when she has bills and tuition to pay for. She believes the tariffs will make it harder for low-income residents like herself to purchase cars. In 2023, American families spent approximately $1.1 thousand a month on transportation. This represents the second most expensive monthly bill Americans pay for, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Yuk Wing, owner of NT Winfield Auto Repair Shop, has thoughts on imported car part prices. Car dealerships raise their prices for check services and parts while ours remain the same with little changes, especially for people who own cars in good condition. Sites that sell parts for cheap prices, such as Amazon, may go up because they are imported from China, according to Nguyen. He believes price changes will hit customers the most if they have older cars and buy their parts online. An SJSU economic professor believes that low-income college students will be impacted by the tariffs.
Things as food, probably if they have a car to go to school, that's a huge part of their expenses, and those are the sort of things that are going to get hit the hardest by tariffs.
In San Jose, Angela Nguyen, Update News.
President Donald Trump's proposed plan to impose tariffs could also have an effect on your local farmers markets. Reporter Nick Austin has more on that story.
President Donald Trump has made the use of tariffs a key point during his first month of presidency. I spoke with local farmer Augustin Covarrubias from Jacobs Farms, who attends multiple farmers markets around the Bay Area.
Actually, for the tariffs, for me, is no, it won't affect nothing because we grow everything. So
Covarrubias and Jacobs Farms do not plan on having to adjust for the tariffs. They are hopeful to retain their low prices and their established client base. Some experts believe the tariffs may encourage people to buy locally.
Conceivably, if there's a good they're selling that also we typically buy over from another country, maybe we'll buy something local instead. But one would guess that if you're buying an avocado from Mexico, there's a reason, either the quality or that's where the product is made. That's the country that dominates in that product.
Adriana Hernandez from Miss Bee Haven, a local honey producer, is skeptical about the effects tariffs might have on the farmers market population.
You do have your loyal people, so it's really hard to tell. I'm gonna say decrease, to be honest. But a lot of us don't raise our prices. Yeah, we keep our prices no matter what. So, I mean, that's the good thing about having loyal customers.
While the proposed new tariffs will affect many economic sectors, farmers markets are a staple to local communities in the Bay Area, and these new tariffs could threaten the future of these community events. As the story continues to unfold, we'll keep you updated. Nick Austin, Update News.
A boycott called the Latino Freeze has taken the community as Latinos express their voice against companies that have taken away or pushed back DEI programs. Reporter Yuvia Limon has the story.
The Latino community is rewriting history and challenging diversity as the Latino Freeze boycott has taken effect around the nation, including here in San Jose, after President Trump started to roll back DEI initiatives.
A lot of the lower income or people of color do shop at these stores that are local and available to us.
The Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion program focuses on creating equitable working environments in businesses and schools, particularly for historically marginalized communities. The Latino Freeze movement aims to get Latinos to stop shopping at big stores and restaurants, such as Target, Walmart, and McDonald's, which have recently rolled back on their DEI program.
I think that the Latino Freeze is actually a fantastic way of the Latino population to voice its discontent with what is currently happening in the administration.
With the DEI program rolling back, both new and current employees are concerned that the hiring process will be even more difficult.
The job hiring process is already kind of difficult as it is, and I feel like removing DEI as a factor in hiring is going to affect a lot of people in ways I'm not really too sure of.
Ms. Martinez, among others, believe that the community needs to stand together through this difficult time so companies feel the impact.
Money talks, so definitely that's where you want to hit them and realize that like this is your customer base and you need to either pick a side kind of, and it looks like they've already picked a side, so hopefully our community is able to come through and represent as well.
Despite the opposition from other companies, Apple, Ben & Jerry's, Costco, and other companies encourages DEI programs and continues to make them accessible to all workers. You can learn more about DEI programs and which stores and restaurants are in full effect at www.naacp.org. In San Jose, Yuvie Limon, Update News.
I really hope it doesn't rain this weekend.
Yeah, I can't seem to stay dry. Let's head on over to Angela Nguyen with this week's weather forecast.
My name's Angela Nguyen, and I have your 7-day weather forecast. After a very soggy week, we'll be seeing more rain chances again around midday, although rain should be a little bit less than what we saw a week ago. Overall, the forecast is trending warmer and drier words after, with more sunshine and some spring-like weather possibly on the way for the weekend and into early next week. Now taking a look here, we can see with the quick rain check, as expected, rain totals should generally be lower in low amounts in the North Bay with clear and breezy conditions expected by Thursday as high pressures build into the region. Note the rain and Sierra snow in the future cast around Wednesday, then clearing into Thursday and Friday. The 7-day weather forecast for Santa Cruz shows that Saturday will be highest at 63, while Sunday highest will be 70. As we move on to the next weather, it would be Oakland here, as you can see. Saturday's high 69, lowest 47. Sunday 70 and 49 being the lowest. And then we move on to San Francisco, as we can see, quite similar but a little bit lower for the highest temperatures being at 66 on Saturday as well as 47. Sunday highest being at 66 and then at lowest being 49. For San Jose, we can see it being a little bit warmer than the other areas, 73 being highest, 74 being highest for Sunday, and then the lowest being 48 for Saturday and 51 for Sunday. And back to the desk.
We'll have more when we come back.
San Jose State University had a cooking class yesterday. Stay tuned to find out why students will need to learn how to cook.
Coming up, we have a brand new segment to introduce that might leave you a bit hungry.
Tune in to find out more about Spartan athletics. College students are known for being able to make instant noodles and buying takeout for their meals. With prices going up, more and more students are going to have to learn how to cook at home. Our reporter Madison Wilbur has more.
Students from all over the San Jose State campus piled into a class yesterday to learn how to make some dessert in onigiri, also known as Japanese rice balls. One of those students was Talia. She said she can't always afford to have takeout and is trying to expand her knowledge in the kitchen to be able to have more than the frozen meals that just aren't cutting it.
Frozen meals are cheaper, although sometimes they don't fill me up as much as it would eating out. So then I would have to spend that extra $10 to eat outside.
According to the Department of Agriculture, prices for all food are predicted to increase by about 2% this year. Food at home prices like groceries are predicted to increase by about 1%, while food away from home prices like takeout are predicted to increase by about 3 to 4%. SJSU is offering demos to their students on how to make certain dishes at home. Session leader Chef Caitlin says she only sees attendance continuing to climb.
With what's going on right now, with everything getting more expensive and everything, like more people are definitely choosing to cook at home. Like I know groceries are still expensive, but eating out is also still really expensive.
Many students are grateful for the session and look forward to learning something new.
It's giving me like more options for me to be able to cook now that I know how to make this, and if I like it, I'm gonna make it at home for sure. Probably pack it for to go so I can eat it when I'm in class after class.
Anyone can do it, and it's so rewarding, and I really love just seeing people like make their food and then being able to be like, wow, this is crazy, like I really made this, like I did this, and it wasn't bad at all. It was like really fun.
Once everyone was finished, they finally got to have a taste of their hard work. Trying new recipes can be fun and adventurous. but don't bite off more than you can chew. In San Jose, this is Madison Wilbur, Update News.
This week of Update News, I'd like to introduce a brand new segment, Update Eats, bringing you the stories behind some of the restaurants located right here in the Bay Area.
For this week on Update Eats, we take you to a bakery located on Santa Clara Street known as Milk Belly Bakery. Milk Belly is owned and operated by Maria Balsunce and her partner Jason Venters, who she met when arriving in San Jose about 15 years ago. Maria got inspiration for the Milk Belly name from an outfit her son was wearing at the time of their opening, along with one of their most popular dishes known as Japanese milk bread.
Our main purpose here is to be local, small, and basically create like a community to San Jose. Growing up, I've always worked at my aunt's restaurant, so being in a bakery or in a restaurant was more like a playground to me. I knew that one day I've always wanted to have a bakery or a restaurant, but I didn't realize that it was going to be in San Jose until I met Jason. Everything that we make is inspired by our childhood. Our number one is our Japanese egg salad sando. It's very simple. We don't do anything crazy to it, but I believe like the simplicity of it, it really brings back a lot of memories to most of our regulars, especially our regulars that are from Japan. Number two is like, I think our Japanese milk bread. In the beginning, I didn't even want to do milk bread, but it ended up becoming like I actually produce more milk bread than sourdough.
That concludes this week's segment of Update Eats, and be sure to tune in next week to see what I have in store for you. This week in sports, Mohammed is taking you over to the big board with his brand new segment, Spartan Sports Central, keeping you on par with all things sports. Take it away, Mohammed.
Welcome to the first ever Spartan Sports Central with me, Mohammed Najimi. Let's swing right into the first sport, men's baseball. They did pretty well this past weekend, taking 2 out of 3 from the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Their game on Sunday, they absolutely dominated 12-4. If you look at the upcoming games, they have a 4-game set against Utah Valley from Thursday to Sunday. Thursday and Friday starts at 3, Saturday starts at 2, and Sunday starts at 12. They also have a game on Tuesday against Santa Clara University that starts at 3. If we switch over to women's softball, they're on a 500 winning record, currently 5-5, but they are currently on a 5-game winning streak. Same as the men on Sunday, they absolutely dominated UC San Diego 8-1. If we look at they're now going into this weekend into the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic with 2 doubleheaders on back-to-back days on Friday and Saturday, with the first being against CSU Northridge on 5:30 on Friday, and then later at 8:30 against Howard University. On Saturday, they face against Nebraska at 5:30 and Loyola Marymount University at 7:30. They also have a game on Sunday against UC Santa Barbara at 11 a.m. So be there. If we switch to men's basketball, they're not doing as good currently in the season. They're sitting at a 12-15 record. If we look at the upcoming games, they have a game on Saturday at Wyoming and also a game on Tuesday at home against UNLV. 1 p.m. for the Wyoming game, 7 p.m. for the UNLV game. This just in, unfortunately, the men's lost, and now their record is 12-16 for the season. If we switch to women's basketball, they're pretty much doing the same as the men's. They're not doing too well. Currently, they stand at a 10-16 record, but they do have 2 decently big games, one at home against San Diego State on Saturday at 2, one at Utah State on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. This just in, unfortunately, the women's lost. Now their record is 10-17 for the season. Now, let's get to Spartan Showcase, where I will highlight the one match where you don't want to miss. And guess what? It's the women's golf at home against Stanford on Tuesday at 10 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Why? Because Stanford is the number 2 ranked team in the nation currently. They're currently undefeated as well, so the SJSU has a tall task ahead of them. For their previous game this past weekend, they tied for 5th at the Alice and John Wallace Women's Golf Classic, facing against 19 other teams. Lucia Lopez Arteaga finished tied for 14th, but she ended shooting 4 over 75 and 2 over 215. 4 over 75 just means 4 shots over the average on the first round on the 18-hole course. 2 over 215 just means 2 over the average amount of shots for the entire classic. It's Battle of the Bay against Stanford. You don't want to miss it. That has been your first ever Spartan Sports Central with me, Mohammed Ajimi. Tune in next week. Back to the desk.
The All-Star Game is back in the Bay Area after 25 years. People see this event as overpriced for its reputation. Reporter Iber Moreno brings us more detail.
The All-Star Game is one of the biggest weekends in the NBA, where the world's best players gather together to compete against each other in special events. Many fans believe $1,000 tickets are not worth paying up for.
$1,000 kind of seems like over the top. Like I would think maybe highest ticket like amount, probably like 500 would be like understandable, but like 1,000 is way too much.
I personally would not pay $1,000 for that. Obviously I would watch it, but the only reason I showed up today was because it's pretty close, and after 25 years of it returning to San Francisco.
Most NBA fans prefer to see their favorite stars despite high prices and tickets.
LeBron's last All-Star Game, $1,000 is worth it.
I'm a big LeBron fan. I'd like to see LeBron for sure. I guess, I don't know, there's a few people that are injured that I'd like to see play, but mainly LeBron I want to see.
Bay Area fans see this game not worth it due to ticket prices being so high. In San Francisco, Iber Moreno, Update News.
Did you see that slam dunk contest? Mac McClung can really get up there.
He flew over that car. Let's see what some SJSU Spartans thought about the All-Star Weekend this week's State of the Spartans.
I think most of the game was literally just like half commercials, and then like they would play the game.
I think there should be a better reward for the players, but if not, then just replace it with vacation time because it looks like they want to go on vacation.
Yeah, for me, I think the All-Star Game was kind of boring to watch. There was a lot of commercials. That's what I noticed. Yeah, and then even the players were talking about how like they were just sitting for 20 minutes like between breaks. Yeah, I think they should just go back to the old format with the 4 quarters.
I think the dunk contest in general, and specifically, is getting kind of a resurgence. People are starting to care about it more. What Mac McClung has done for that event is just crazy. But some of the other ones are just kind of getting dry. And if they want to fix it, I think they need to take a step back and see what draws people to the All-Star Weekend.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow us on all our socials, and we'll see you next week.